Hi guys, Shades of Shantae here, and welcome to my new series of Makeup and Mental, where I do my makeup and we talk about mental health. And I'm so excited to share this new series with you guys because I think it's so important and it's something so dear to my heart, something I love talking about, and I think that if we talk about it more, we can all deal with it. So, yes, stick around and let's talk. Today's topic is it's okay to not be okay. And I think that is so important because a lot of us, I feel like a lot of us are out here, faking that we're okay and, just hiding our what we really feel inside. And we're going to talk about how it's okay to talk about how you're not doing so well right now. There are a lot of times where I feel not okay. And it sucks because it just really creeps up on you. You don't know what's going to happen. And then all of a sudden, there's just this feeling of like a drop, like a heavy feeling, and you're just like, wow, I really feel not okay. Sometimes you wake up and you're just feeling that way, or sometimes something triggers that feeling and it happens randomly throughout the day. And I think we need to start saying to ourselves, hey, I don't feel okay in this moment, and that's okay. Can I talk about it? I think most of us are used to lying to ourselves and others, and we're so used to saying, yeah, I'm fine, that we end up believing that lie. And then all of a sudden, this sporadic uh, volcano of emotions come bursting out, and then everyone's looking at you like, the hell's wrong with you? And I think we all say to ourselves, well, I don't have nobody to talk to. Yes, you do. You have yourself. I talk to myself all the time. And yes, myself talks back. Some people may not think that's healthy, but whatever, it works for me. I believe that talking about our feelings more, talking about why we don't feel okay or what makes us not okay, it helps us understand that we're not okay. And sometimes you don't know what's wrong. You don't understand it, you can't pinpoint it, and that's okay too. It's okay to say like I don't know. I'm just not feeling my usual self today. Something in me is just off, and that's okay. Remember, it's okay to be not okay. And I feel like the more you say it, because I'm learning this too, the more you say it, the more it becomes part of like your daily mantra, your daily life. And never, ever, ever let anybody tell you that you have no right to feel the way you feel, or it's not okay to be not okay, because they're bullshitting. And I said it. They're bullshitting you. Because who are they to tell you how you feel? Are they you? Do they have your emotions? No, they don't. So who are they? It took me a very long time to learn that I you shouldn't accept people in your life that make you feel like your feelings are not valid or your feelings don't matter, because they do. You as a person have an opinion, you have a voice, and it needs to be heard. Rather you understand what that voice is saying or not. I suffer from depression, and it took me a very long time to understand like that's what it was. It's depression. It's something something's not clicking, something's not right, and that's okay. And it took me a long time to say that to people. I remember the first time I told my friends that I was going to therapy, I immediately said after that, I'm not crazy, like you guys. And that was sad because I didn't have those thoughts, but the fact that I had to say that just to like justify the fact that I was going to therapy, knew that we need to talk about this more. We need to talk about how I'm not okay and it's okay. Like it's all right. It took me years, and I mean years, maybe up until last year, to finally admit to myself and out loud that there was nothing wrong with me. I came from a very abusive relationship. for 7 years. And in that relationship, that person made me feel like I was crazy, legitimately crazy, for feeling the way I felt and having these emotions and sporadic. I would say things like, "Hey, something feels off today." Like just kind of like gauging that person's emotion to see how they would feel about me saying, "Hey, I don't feel well today," or "Something's off," and I would get responses like, "Well, what's wrong with you? Are you crazy? You need to go to the hospital?" And someone who had recently had a baby and going through postpartum at the time that I didn't know I was, um, you don't want to hear things like, "Well, do you need to go to the hospital?" Because that's scary, because you're not understanding what's going on within you. Now, that's not me saying I blame that person for how I expressed my feelings today or how I turned out today. No, that's not me saying that at all. That's me taking responsibility, finally, and admitting that I did nothing wrong. I watched this show on Hulu, and I remember the lady saying, often when we go to therapy, we're often asked, "Well, what's wrong today?" or "How are you feeling today?" Instead of them asking us, "Well, what happened to you that made you feel this way?" or "What trauma happened in your life that triggered you to have these feelings?" And when I heard that, I was like, wow, that is such an important question. Because if we face what has happened or what triggers us, or even if nothing happens, but if we look deep within ourselves and ask ourselves those real challenging questions, those questions that nobody wants to answer or talk about. I remember my first time in therapy. I sat down and she asked, the normal questions before talking, how to give consent. And then the very first, like, intimate question she asked me was, "So, how are you feeling today?" And I busted out in tears. Let me tell you, I cried a waterfall because I didn't know how to answer that because I didn't know how I was feeling that day. I mean, I thought I was fine. Everyone thinks they're fine until someone asks, "It's like, well, how are you doing today?" And you're just like, I don't know. So it very much caught me off guard that I'm so used to saying fine that in that moment I couldn't say fine to her because I didn't feel fine. And when she asked, I felt like she was genuinely asking, "Well, like, how do you feel today?" From that experience, I've learned when people ask me how I'm doing, I will tell them, like, "I'm a little off today," because that's okay. And I feel like the more we say it out loud and the more we accept that that's not okay, that it's okay, then saying that out loud and saying it often helps me to understand better why it's okay to not be okay. And it helps me understand, like, hey, why am I feeling this way today? And I think the more that we say it out loud, the more help we'll receive, the more better we'll feel. Hey, there might be somebody next to you that's just like, "Hey, I'm not feeling okay today too. Let's talk about it." Next thing you know, you guys are helping one another. It never fails. Every time I put my lashes on, my eyes water. Just thank God my makeup's waterproof. I don't know what that was about. My eyelashes were not cooperating. We gonna save those for the end. I think the best idea is to get a journal. Get a journal, write all your thoughts down, read it back to yourself. It's like having a whole conversation with yourself. But in that process, you get to kind of figure out what's going on. I 100% believe in personal health days, mental health days. Give your time to rest, time to heal, time to recuperate, and that's okay. Like, you're only human, okay? You don't have the answers to life. You are figuring it out like everybody else. So don't let anybody tell you that your feelings don't matter and you don't have the right to feel the way you do, because you do. Start getting comfortable with saying to yourself, I'm not okay today, and allowing yourself to be okay with saying that. So many of us go through it, and so many of us are scared to talk about it. I'm letting you know right now. Talk. Talk about it. Open up. Journal. Talk to yourself. Get in touch with your feelings and understand yourself. Understand it's okay not to be okay.